Hey there and welcome back. Today we're going to talk about pre-screening buyers. In our previous lessons we talked about how to locate them. Now what happens when they actually do go see your house and you've got people that are interested. Now what do we do with them? Well, the answer is really simple. It depends on what your planned exit strategy is, because if you're trying to cash out of the property with a qualified buyer, taking them to get new financing, that's a totally different process than if you're looking for a lease option tenant buyer. Now I'm going to tell you, my favorite exit strategy is putting lease option tenant buyers in the houses for an awful lot of reasons. Number one, it's way faster than trying to cash out. Two, I make a lot more money by lease optioning the house out than I do trying to cash out. For one thing, my taxes are probably half because I've held it for more than a year, so I get long-term capital gains. I get a great big chunk of non-refundable deposit up front from a tenant buyer. I get nothing from a cash-out buyer until we go to the closing 1, 2, 3 months after I find that buyer, and that's assuming we can get them qualified. And three, I get monthly income from a tenant buyer that I don't get from a cash-out. Plus I get a back-end payday when they do get financed, and if they move, I go get another deposit from another tenant buyer, so my income streams just keep on rolling. So I will tell you that how to find buyers is the same whether I'm looking for cash buyers or lease option tenant buyers. We have all kinds of methods to attract them. We've covered that, but now when they get to us, what I do is I drive them to the house and I give them the lockbox code. We either have them call a voicemail box, which gives them the lockbox code if they're coming to us from offline. If they're coming to us from online, we have all the information about the house right there, and then we usually have them contact us by email to get the lockbox code to get into the house. Either way, they got the lockbox code. So now when they get in, they go in on their own, whenever they feel like it, no appointment needed, and there's a little form on the countertop. Lauren, would you put that form up so they could see that? It's
Sure.
What to do next form.
Sure.
And on that form, it asks them, how much money do you have to put down? And how does your credit, good, fair, or ugly? And how much of a monthly payment can you afford? Now with that form in my possession, I know what I'm working with. And here's the simplicity of it. If they've got good credit, I'm going to assume they want to go get financed and cash me out. So I'll send them to my mortgage banker or my mortgage broker and start that loan process working and let him take it from there. And I'll participate as needed to make sure that he gets whatever he needs from my buyer as fast as he can get it. If it's a lease option candidate because they have money but poor credit, then I'll take it from there. So there's only two things I'm really looking for from these buyers. They either got to have several $1,000s to make me want to put them in the house on a lease purchase, or they got to have good credit to make me want to go get them a new loan and get them cashed out. I don't need both, because they need, with USDA, which we discussed earlier, if you happen to be in a USDA area, they need no money. I mean none. They can get this house bought, but they need no money. If they are an FHA candidate, because you can't do USDA, by the way, if you can do USDA, that's what you want to do. But if they're FHA, they need 3.5% down. And there's a few ways that we can help them get to 3.5% down. For example, their family can donate it to them, their church can donate it to them. But I know that 3.5% hurdle we might be able to overcome if they got some money. But it's the credit thing that I'm looking for the cash outs. If they got the credit, we'll see if we can fix the down payment. But if they don't have the credit, then that option is out. So now, do they have several $1,000s? If they do, they might be a lease option candidate. If they don't, they're out. If they have no credit and no money, they're out. They're a waste of time. Even though they may love the house and want it, there's no way I can get them in it. So they got to have one or the other. So if somebody comes to me with $150,000, I've got a $150,000 house on the market, and I'm putting lease option tenant buyer in it, I'm not going to take more than less than $3,000 or $4,000 down. So if they can't come up with at least $3,000 or $4,000, and I'm looking for more, to be honest with you, a lot more if I can get it, plus the first month's rent, plus the $200 or $300 for the attorney's fee to close the lease purchase, then I don't want them. I'll pass. I'll move on, and I'll wait for the next buyer to come along and let the market tell me how much money it can give me. And that, my friend, is the beauty of building a buyer's list. If you drive people to your website and you have them fill out the little form about what they're looking for, then you've got a buyer's list. So when you get your buyer's list built, you know where they want to live, how much money they have to put down, what they can afford per month, and if their credit is good, fair, or ugly, because those are the questions I want answered to get on my buyer's list. Now with that information, and I can take that list and I can take the people with the biggest chunks of money, find out where they want to live, and then target my marketing to buy houses in those areas so that I can match my buyers with my houses. It's a whole lot easier to find a house for a buyer than a buyer for a house. And when you get that, and you get to building your buyers list, everything about your business will change, because now you're simply doing a matching game. Match my buyers that qualify because they got a bunch of money as tenant buyers, or match my buyers that qualify because they got good credit. Go find them a place where they want to live, present it to them, and let them decide if they want it or not. I will tell you this, the people who need the lease option deals because their credit is not good are a whole lot more fun to work with. They're a lot easier to work with. They're nowhere near as picky because they know they can't qualify. So when you get yourself in a position to where you can provide them good quality housing in nice neighborhoods, I mean, demand is 100 times bigger than the supply. So they'll do just about anything you ask them to do. The payment is totally negotiable. The price is sort of irrelevant because they need you, and there's a whole lot of them, and there's just a few of you. So I would much rather deal with the 90% of the people who cannot qualify and lease option on the house than I would with the 10% that can qualify and try to go get them a loan and then wait 2 or 3 months to get paid after that. If you run your business so that you can acquire this asset called a house without tying up your capital, without building any short-term balloons on any debt that you create like private lenders, without backing yourself into a corner, then you've got plenty of time to exit and you're under no pressure to sell now to cash out. I can tell you that you will make more money lease optioning these houses out, nice houses, nice neighborhoods, that you either go lease option from the seller or you take over subject to and putting tenant buyers in there. You will make more money per month in cash by doing that than you will rehabbing and retailing to qualified buyers. For one reason, I can do 3 or 4 or 5 of those simple in and out deals before I can do one of those rehab deals. A lot less time, and my cash is coming in because I can get quite nice substantial earnest money deposits that are non-refundable. They're option deposits. So if I'm putting a $200,000 house on the market, I'll tell you it's quite normal to get $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 deposit. Well, I see people out there renovating houses that don't make that after doing all of that work and with all those costly entanglements and dealing with contractors and banks and financing, and boy, is it tough to get them financed right now. So, you know, you run your business the way you want to run it. Come spend a little time with me and I'll teach you how to do it correctly. And I didn't learn it, by the way, from a seminar. My seminar is in the School of Hard Knocks, and I've been doing this stuff for a long time. And I'm telling you, cashing out of everything you get is not the right thing to do. However, pre-screening is pretty easy if my exit strategies are open to whatever the market wants to do. And I'm going to end this with that simple statement. I don't know how I'm going to sell the house until the buyer comes to me and tells me what they got to offer. And then I'll try to make what they have to work with fit that model. Again, they got credit, probably get them financing. They got money, probably put them in on a lease purchase. Therefore, selling the house is the easy part when I'm open to sell it any way that I want to sell it. So that's it. I'll see you on the next lesson.